find if Alex is here, and we'll get on with this competition, shall we? Welcome to the Master of Malt channel.
Good evening, David.
Hello, hello.
Look at that waistcoat. That is a thing of wonder. Is this the mythical waistcoat I've heard about?
This is the mythical waistcoat you've heard about. Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
How many labels are on there?
I think I chose about 5 or 6 labels. Yeah. Not like the full spectrum. I just picked some of my favourites on there and chucked them on there. Yeah.
That's a fantastic. Maybe we should have boutique line of clothing.
Yeah. Well, there was
fun bags. Let's make it happen.
Everyone wanted them at the time. Yeah. But, hey, yeah, boutique whiskies back in the house. Must have done something like that.
You did so well last week.
Yeah.
Thought we'd bring you back. Also, don't know where Sam is. We think he's still in your cupboard.
So Sam is still up behind me in the cupboard. Don't just be quiet, will you, please? Yeah, he's in there blending or something like that. Yeah. No. What should we just jump straight ahead, or?
Oh my goodness, let's jump straight ahead. What have we got?
We've got quite a few delicious.
This evening, David. I think we've got how many bottles? We've got 1. Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Prizes.
8 prizes, more bottles, because we've got a couple of the trios again, which are very exciting.
We have got a couple of trios, and one of them I definitely wanted to win. So yeah.
And we've got one of the biggies on here as well.
We've got 2 boutiques on today. Yeah, I had a word with management, and we have 2 boutiques on this one. We've got a lovely 35-year-old Port Ellen.
That is a mega one as well.
So one of closed distillery, and then there's a second closed distillery a little bit later on with the grain distillery from the Canvas distillery. So 2 boutiques. We've had a word, and we've got some in there.
Had a word, we've got them in.
Aye. So what's our first one of the evening, Alex?
We have the Bowmore 22-year-old Aston Martin, the Masters selection, no less.
Oh, the Masters.
I don't think you can drive this, by the way. I don't think it's like a bottle you can drive.
No.
And obviously, don't consume it if you're thinking of driving either.
The Aston Martin factory is not too far from my house, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just over Newport Pagnell way. There's a big Aston Martin place.
Apparently, the Aston in Aston Martin comes from a racing track where it was near.
Right. Yeah, well, I see the. I don't know if they're still there, but they definitely used to be there when we used to go over the back way into Milton Keynes from Newport Pagnell, and you see the big old Aston Martins there. So a 22-year-old Bowmore from Isla's oldest distillery.
Wow.
They have something like 1779 on the bottle. I haven't got a
Bowmore. My God.
But there's only, the license wasn't brought up until 1816. Although the number 1 vault, which is the oldest whiskey warehouse probably still in operation, was built in the 1700s. So that's right down on by part of the sea wall down there at Bowmore on Isla. It's really pretty little distillery. You can walk along the beach there. It's right by the harbour. It's like the main town in Isla. If you haven't been to Isla, you really have got to go. It is such a wonderful little place to go and see. Hi, so this, just 199 tickets for this 22-year-old. It's kind of special. It's been finished in tawny port casks, and it's got a Aston Martin.
Ooh, what is that going to make it kind of taste like, basically?
It's going to get a lot of fruitiness in there, isn't it? With those big, 22-year-old old Bowmore. That sort of peach. If you think about old Bowmore, ordinarily it gets that. It's quite lightly peated. So the malt specification that they do on their own is something like 25 ppm, but the finished spirit's about 10, so quite light in compared to the rest of the Isla distilleries. But with time, that sort of just disappears and becomes all tropical and fruity. Really tropical, fruity old Bowmores. With a port cask, you're going to get that big fruity notes coming in, those big red, fruity, blackberry, jammy sort of notes I would have thought coming through there. Very, very lovely.
Sounds fantastic.
Shall we pick a winner?
Let's spin the wheel. My wheel's ready as well.
Okay, let's get that wheel into the room.
Wheel it in.
There she blows.
There she is. Okay, are we ready, David?
Um,
First wheel of the night. Here we go. Ian W. Congratulations.
well done, Ian. You have just won yourself a 22-year-old Bowmore. Well done. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that is amazing. And you are number 6247815. Your ticket number should be?
Rupert. Perfect. We got that down. Let's next up is move into a boutique whiskey. A 35-year-old Port Ellen. It's our 9th batch. It was a bottle of just, I don't know, wasn't that an awful lot of them actually? I haven't got the numbers on that one. Gee, what did I do with the numbers? There's not a lot of this. One of the last bottlings, I think, from boutique as well. I don't think we've got any more of this. I haven't seen any Port Ellen for a long time. We did just do one of one recently for the big charity event, which was some of this left over that we had with a big 1 litre bottle. But this is probably the last bottle of this. We had one at the Whisky Show. We had it as our dream dram at the Whisky Show, and it's very popular.
Wow.
So yes, this distillery closed a long time ago, although it's about to reopen. Most of the distillery was intact. They have all the plans so they could rebuild the distillery just as it is, and I think it's just about ready to get into production. I think the lockdown, everything slowed everything down. But this is another Islay distillery. There's more distilleries on this little island, and there's more planned. I don't understand why we'd keep building new distilleries on Islay. It's a real pilgrimage.
It's going to be sinker, more like a sinker. It'll be.
It's
have that one for later date.
So yeah, this Port Ellen, it was really just fillings back in the day. It wasn't a sort of a big distillery in itself, but over since it's closed, it was a decision between Port Ellen and Kalila at the time, and Kalila was able to do other styles of malts and was feeding in all of the different blends at the time, and so Kalila survived. And Port Ellen,
Kalila's shut as well, hasn't it?
No, Kalila's did shut for a little while, only for expansion and modification. It's the biggest distillery on Islay by far, something like 6.5 million litres of alcohol.
Oh my God, it's Canvas I'm thinking of.
It's big.
We're not getting any inside intel here, guys. We're not.
Hi.
Tell me more about this label, though. Who's that on it?
Well, that's one of the biggest, well-known perhaps, Port Ellen collectors. Actually, he came up to me at the Whisky Show and said, "Hi Dave, I hear you've got a Port Ellen with me on the label on that counter." So yeah, and he had 2 bottles of Port Ellen with him from his collection that he was sharing and swapping for a dram. That's John Beach, who owns the Fiddler's Rest. It's a pub, hotel, fish and chip shop, bar. Really lovely place, and a huge whiskey collection there, and it's halfway along Loch Ness, near the Urquhart Castle area. Halfway.
I wonder if you've seen Nessie.
Really pretty. Yeah, that's John on there. He's a well-known collector, which is why he features on this label. He's sitting on a rock, looking kind of sad, holding a little bag of sherbet lemons and a chamois leather, sort of 2 typical notes of Port Ellen. And over the years, as each batch progresses, little things change on the label, relating to the story about a trip.
I remember, what's that? I think it's The Witches, isn't it? Where there's the film and they've got the picture and it starts off with a little boy in the picture, and as time goes, or the little girl in the picture, and as time goes on, she gets older and older. I can't remember what film it is. It's a real film. I didn't dream it either.
The Port Ellen label will always look like that, with John sitting on a rock, but between each batch, from batch 1, which is one of our first ever releases, all the way up to this one, there's a little detail label change. Just you got to look for the "Where's Wally" sort of thing.
Oh,
are you ready?
Another lovely nuance of boutique.
Are you ready with that wheel?
Oh my God, I'm so ready with this wheel, Dave.
Should we find a winner? So there were just 299 tickets available for this £3,000 bottle of whiskey. There can't be much Port Ellen left around, so fingers crossed it's you.
Yeah, here we go. Okie doke. Do you want to count down?
Off you go. 3, 2, 1.
1.
Go.
Osaka.
624-8660. Now, winners will be notified tomorrow, I guess.
Notified first thing tomorrow morning. Also, apologies if my name pronunciation isn't very good.
Well done, sir. Ma'am. Person.
Congratulations. What a bottle to flip him win on a cold Monday night.
That's a really, great little whiskey.
A little bit of shining light in a very dark night.
Right. Next up is the first of our trios. Now, this is a trio of Master of Malt's own bottling. So 3 single casks, all of them 13-year-old, unlucky for some, or very lucky for one. These tickets were just £1, and there were only 349 tickets. So we have a 13-year-old Macduff, and you don't normally see anything with Macduff on their label because the actual distillery is called Macduff, but the brand is crikey, the brand is something else, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head at the moment. Ardlair, which is an unpeated single malt from the Ardmore distillery, which is a Highland distillery. And then we have a Tamnavulin, which you don't see very often around either. So it's one of those distilleries that it's hidden away up there in Speyside and been quietly making whiskey for a little while, but it has started to come out there as a single malt as its own. So 3 single casks, each of them very limited. I think that one holds 368 bottles, one of them was 307 bottles, and the other one 381 bottles. So 3 single casks, 13-year-old single malts. A bit of distillery character coming through from each of these. So I haven't tasted any Ardlair to be unpeated. Highland. I love Ardmore. They're peated. Their unpeated is stuff that's going into the blended whiskey market. Macduff Distillery, Glendevron would be its name if you're going to buy it branded, Glendevron or Devon. Again, those malts that's only recently turned into a single malt in the real world. It's always been a malt feeding the blended Scotch whisky. It's the home to one of the biggest blended Scotch whiskies you've probably never heard of, certainly if you live over here. William Lawson blend. You very rarely see William Lawson blend, but when you go abroad, you'll see it. It's a big blend. That was the home of Macduff Distillery. And Tamnavulin, I can't remember what that goes into at the moment, what blends it is, but I've seen it as a single malt coming out now, and you might find it starting to grow. Well, here we go.
13, the number of the goddess as well. It should be lucky. It's going to be lucky for someone. Also, we would like to say good evening to Kevin M. and also Mr. B. Thanks for tuning in once again this week.
Ooh. Okay. Are you ready with that wheel?
Let's do something really good.
Really, really good. Are you really ready?
Really good.
You're really ready?
My wheelie's ready.
Excellent. There we go. One single cask trio. When you're ready.
3, 2, 1. This one always feels quite long. Maravesh P! Congratulations.
A winner. 3 bottles of whiskey are going your way. You'll be contacted tomorrow by the Master of Malt Competitions team.
And again, all of our winners, let us know how you get on, what they taste like. Love to get your feedback.
Oh, yes, send us a picture.
Yeah, and send us a pic. Also on these ones, because Dave hasn't tried any. So that'll be interesting to get some notes on it.
I will need to get a sample of Ardlair. Yeah, I'm sure we can get. I can find a bottle on Master of Malt, but yeah.
I'm sure we can probably sort you out, Dave.
Yeah, I've never tasted Ardlair. Yeah. Okay, this is the one I really wanted to win. The next one, one of my favourite distilleries, a trio of Talisker. Oh, yes. I mean, I've actually poured myself a Talisker this evening.
Oh.
I have got the 10. I have got the 18. I haven't got a 25. I would love a bottle of 25, but I
Nice.
would dram at Talisker.
Did you know that when the Talisker distillery was built in 1830, the local parish minister gave weekly sermons to preach the evils of whiskey and proclaimed that if the distillery was built, it would be the ultimate curse to befall the place.
No, I didn't know that, but thank you very much.
It's not like I just read that out word for word, which I'd written down earlier. Just came out very organically from my knowledge brain.
I've been to Talisker. It's a beautiful, beautiful island. The Isle of Skye, absolutely gorgeous place up there. Just so pretty. And the seafood. Oh, the seafood up there is spectacular. And these are spectacular whiskies here. The 10-year-old, one of Diageo's classic malts. It's one of the original classic malts, recognized so many times for its excellence. It is one you can find just about anywhere, any good pub. Classic malts from Diageo. They're sort of the whiskies. Any pub that stocks Diageo will have those classic malts in generally. It is a great whiskey, a 10-year-old. The 18-year-old, a sweet and smoky whiskey. It's one of the ones I've always used to buy myself a bottle for Christmas. It's just a little bit special. I do love it. I've got the DE, the Distiller's Edition. This one.
What's that like?
It's absolutely delicious. This one's been finished in. This one goes into a cask of some sort afterwards. I think it's a PX cask. No, it's Amoroso cask wood. So a wine finish. Very sweet and smoky. Yeah, very nice. It's one of those favourite ones.
Mind on the job, David. Mind on the job.
And the 25-year-old, I don't know which version. They only make the 25 and the 35-year-old every now and again. It's probably the more recent one. I remember going to one of my first ever whiskey shows a long, long time ago, and being in a room tasting the 25 and the 35, and that's when I really fell in love with Talisker at this show. Yeah. What's
your memory of those two drams?
25-year-old, that smoke sort of really does settle back in there. It just becomes so much more well-rounded. It's a mixture of oak, European and American oak with sherry. So it's just a very well-rounded dram. That time in the cask.
Fantastic.
A bit expensive bottle of whiskey those are. Yep.
Well, not if you've bought a ticket from our draw.
No, just £6.
Yeah, just a £6 for 3 Taliskers. Incredible whiskies. They're over 600.
I would have
if you want to buy all 3 of them.
If I was allowed, I'd definitely had a punt on that one. That's for sure. Are you ready with that wheel? Let's pick someone.
I am so ready with this wheel. My face is also going quite red. I think it's the excitement of this draw.
Got the heating on too loud, or is it the caterpillars in the tree?
It's the first day of the heating on. So, and also I'm wearing a woolly jumper. So combined, and the excitement of the Talisker trio as well.
These are just superb.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Angie D.
Oh, well played.
Come on up and collect your Talisker trio.
Yeah, come on down. Come on down.
Come on down, Angie D.
Yeah, where are you, Angie D?
You won.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah, fantastic prize there. Yeah. Ticket number 6248634.
Angie D.
Angie D.
3 Taliskers. Enjoy them. And yeah, you will. I will. If you don't, I will.
Send them back and Dave can have one.
Let me buy your ticket off of you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a big one. This is the big one, I think.
Well, this is a mega one as well.
It is a big one, yeah. The 25-year-old Macallan 2022 release. So they only released some of these older statements of Macallan in a small batch once a year. Like the 18-year-old comes out once a year, the 25-year-old comes out once a year. Because Macallan's very, very popular, as we discussed last week, after a weekend at the Whisky Show, seeing Macallan being absolutely swamped out for whiskies. So this has been matured in a selection of hand-picked sherry seasoned oaks from Jerez, of course. I mean, Macallan have been working with bodegas from Spain for a long, long time, and mostly it's one of their pillars of their whiskey is those sherry casks. Yes, they've done bourbon cask as well, but really what they're known for are the big old sherry oak casks. So 25 years, complex, sweet layers of this would just be like nectar slipping down your throat from the hardest space side.
That sweet nectar, that sweet whiskey nectar.
So just 299 tickets. That's all for this 1 in 299 chance of winning this bottle of Macallan. This is a big one.
Stonking bottle.
And once you finish with the bottle, you turn that little wooden box into a little ukulele. If you're clever enough, I've seen a few.
Really?
I've seen some of those wooden boxes being turned into.
Sam's done that. That's like Sam's probably got a whole orchestra made of wooden. That's probably what he's doing now in the cupboard. It's probably what he's starting a band with him using the box boys. Yeah,
this is a big one. This is Should we pick a lucky winner out of this one?
Oh my goodness! Let's spin that wheel.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
There we go. The Macallan 25-year-old. We're ready to spin that wheel.
Here we go. Please. 62488879. Come on down or up or along or the other way.
All right, and don't forget, send us when you get that bottle, send us a picture of your big cheesy grin with that as well. Because
I
want to see.
Yeah, and the best, like your favorite place to drink it as well. Love that.
That's a lovely little prize there. Well played. Well played, sir.
Well played, Paul P.
All right, what's next? It is from the Glenfarclas distillery, one of those few Scottish distilleries, and there are a few that it's only the big ones of the old established ones. Lots of the new ones are obviously independent, but this has been in family hands for something like 5 generations. It's family hands all the way through. It's a lovely little distillery to visit. Well worth. I only went not so long ago for the first time, and I was just blown away with the distillery.
Whereabouts is it?
It's Ballandalloch in Speyside. So just a bit further out to Aberlour, back up into the sort of Cairngorms way, and you're starting to go up into it's just a really pretty, right in the heart of Speyside. It's further out than sort of all the big distilleries. It's just sitting there on the edge. Beautiful views. No mains water there at all.
How do they get their water?
All the water comes from the spring.
Have they got their own spring?
Most distilleries in
Scotland whiskey we're talking about here, guys. A sacred whiskey. But
this is all of the distillery houses, the distillery centre. There's no actual mains water in this part of the Speyside here. They haven't got running.
I didn't know that. That's so
all their water from
magical and lovely.
And the houses and the views from the distillery are just incredible across the mountains there. Yeah, superb. So this is a 20-year-old single cask, and it's been matured in a port pipe. And that's not a pipe. A port pipe is the name of a cask. They call them pipes in Portugal. I guess that's a Portuguese for something like a cask or something rather than a butt. They call them pipes. I don't know. They're called port pipes, and they're a little bit longer and thinner than a big butt, so easier to move around. But yeah, this has been in 20 years, which is a little unusual because nearly everything from Glenfarclas does go into sherry casks. Another one of those family business that have been working with for a long, long time. So yeah, this is a little bit special, and there was only 600 bottles of this, 199 tickets for this one bottle, and it's a little bit special.
It's really special. It looks beautiful as well. Red. Very Christmassy. This is a very Christmassy bottle we've got.
Are you mentioning?
Someone else?
Are you mentioning that C word already?
Oh, I've been in Christmas since July.
Of course.
Christmas is my world right now.
I'm with you.
I'm already starting to think about Mother's Day.
I've just been putting the first collection of Boutique for 2024 together. So yeah.
Have you?
Past Christmas.
Ooh. Can you share any type of intel?
Can I tell you anything about? I was just blown away by the quality of the whiskies this year. Absolutely blown away. It's a big collection of whiskies, and I was seriously blown away. There's some old Scotch in there, but there's also some New World whiskies coming through there as well. As we love, absolutely blown away. Yeah, it's a banger collection. Right, should we pick a winner for this Glenfarclas?
Let's spin that wheel.
Ready, Alex, with that wheel.
Oh my God, this wheel is ready. Ready for a winner. Okay,
there we go. We've got the Glenfarclas 20-year-old port pipe.
Here we go. Hang on. Full screening it, everyone. I knew that was going too well.
Spin that wheel, Alex.
Here we go. Oh, a bit of classy music.
Fit into your
Lady Death. Congratulations.
Well done, David, sir. 625-7939. You have just won a 20-year-old Glenfarclas port pipe, one of just 600 bottles, retail price of £400. Yes.
Made in a port pipe.
Absolutely. It's another boutique. Another boutique. This is the other one. Canvas. Once one of the largest grain distilleries in Scotland. So grain whisky is the backbone of the Scotch whisky industry. There are 7 great big grain distilleries in Scotland today. There was 12 at one stage.
Really?
Yeah, back in the 80s, there was something like 12 grain distilleries. 7 have closed, and a couple have reopened, or new ones have been built. There's a new one been built, yeah.
And were they there specifically to service the whiskey industry or grain as a whole?
The big ones today are making other things as well. They're making vodka and neutral grain spirit.
You don't mention the V word, Dave.
Well, they're industrial distilling plants, effectively. They're continuous distillation plants, but whiskey comes off at a slightly lower ABV, so there is some still grain in it. Canvas at that time, 25 years ago, would have been probably distilling wheat, maize back then, corn. Today, most distillers use wheat, which is slightly different. It's cheaper for a start. So this is a closed canvas distillery. It did close a long time ago. We bottled it. This is our 14th batch. I was looking for some canvas here. I've got some here somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Not easily anyway, just before we came online. That's where the Talisker was.
Down panic.
There is some in here somewhere. Yeah, I just couldn't be bothered to move everything else out the way. So yeah, this is a 25-year-old, just 462 bottles. The distillery, like I say, was closed a long time ago. So although there was a lot of whiskey, it was a big grain distilling plant, and it closed in a year. I know exactly when it closed, but you had this as a little question mark. So if anyone does know what time, just drop us, just put it in the comments. If you know it, brownie points for you. That's all.
Yeah, if you know it, give you a little thumbs up.
So most of this grain would have gone into refill casks because it was destined for the blended Scotch whisky industry.
Interesting.
Once a distillery closed, much of that stock, the good stuff, has sort of been, we won't blend that away. We'll actually bottle it as a single grain. So we've had a few batches, like I say, 14. This is our 14th batch. It's very tasty grain. So this distillery, actually one before that closed first, 10 years before. And the the operation moved into Canvas, and then Canvas closed and became a sort of storage place for a little while. And today it's a big cask reprocessing plant. So it's back in operation, but it's a really high-tech engineering plant now where Diageo rejuvenate all of their casks. It's very, very interesting to see.
That's very interesting.
Mechanically pulls the cask apart and keeps all of the staves together from that cask as it rejuvenates them, and then make sure that all of those staves from that cask go back together. And if they need to replace,
you always think like, don't touch the casks, right? Because then everything will change. But,
yeah, well, once they've been used, they can. They're not. They don't go on forever and ever, but they can rechar them. They can machine the inside out and then rechar them and expose another layer of carbon. They won't be as great, but they can get another life out of them. So,
what's the oldest cask you've ever heard about?
Some of the sherry casks. The old sherry casks from bodegas in Spain are over 100 years old. The wood is completely tired, but you can put whiskey in it and get a big sherry bomb.
Yeah.
But they're very hard to get hold of. But yeah, casks can go on for a long, long time. I've seen some recently that someone's unearthed the cask in there and they're sort of cleaning it up. And the distillery closed years and years and years ago, and they've just found a cask at like
a lovely
paint off.
Like a whiskey ship.
Are you ready with that wheel?
This wheel is ready to select a winner. My brother is just coming and calling the dog. Sorry about that, everyone. We're ready to pick a winner. Peter S. Congratulations.
Hey, enjoy that. That'd be it's a crack and drop of whiskey. I do know that one quite well. The canvases that we bottled have all been really lovely. So really enjoy that, and send us a picture with your big cheesy grin.
Yeah, and
tell us what you think.
Yeah, what you think, how it looks, how you like to drink it. We are here for it.
Ripper. Okay, this is the last of this evening's competition whiskies.
Last of this dark
and it's another Ardbeg. That's the third week you've been running these competitions, and we've had an Ardbeg in every competition so far. It must be very popular, this distillery on Island.
Yeah.
So this is Ardbeg Bizarre BQ. Yeah, it's almost a shockingly bad pun as boutique. So this is bringing a pit master and a master distiller together over a drop of whiskey, and we get the Bizarre BQ. Bizarre BQ. So it's a first from the Isla Distillery with Dr. Lumsden and DJ BBQ, barbecue, aka
BBQ, is that standing for barbecue?
Aye, BBQ. Collaborating to produce barbecue-inspired single malt. So I think they put 3 casks together to get this sort of smoky, meaty barbecue dram together. So yes, double
smoky, meaty barbecue jam. That sounds.
Heterogeneous sherry casks and a heavily charred cask using an old-fashioned brazier. Just 100 tickets, 99 tickets were. So
we didn't have many tickets of this at all because it's such a special dram.
Wow. Well, I hope someone enjoys that one. Are you ready with your little wheel?
I'm ready with the wheel. Hopefully various members of my family won't come storming through here.
You've got to have a cupboard in the back that you can lock them. That's soundproof, that cupboard in the back there.
Oh, God. Right, here we go.
That's
3, 2, 1. Whoa, spooky. Almost ready for spooky season. Marianne.
It's quite sinister, that music, doesn't it? Yeah.
I know, I love that music. Marianne, congratulations. Last winner of this evening.
Aye. So Yeah, there's plenty more to win. I've just been looking at the list. There's loads of new whiskies coming on. At the moment, there is a 20-year-old bourbon from Mitchell's, an 18-year-old Hakushu, a 9-year-old Lachig with a Bordeaux red wine cask matured. There's a King's Barn Founders Club membership. King's Barn's the Weems distillery up in Fife, which is a beautiful, the old Dovecote. There's another Macallan, a 24-year-old. This is a single cask from Master of Malts. And they put some new whiskies live on today, including amazing. When I'm looking at the list of what's gone on this morning, I'm blown away. There's a 25-year-old Yamazaki from Japan. There's a batch of, we did some trios where we've got 4 whiskies this time. 4 25-year-old whiskies from Islay. There's a Bowmore, a Bunnahabhain, a Kalila, and another Ardbeg. There's the old and rare whiskey advent calendar. That's the new 2023 edition. If we're talking about Christmas, that's a huge prize. 24 old and rare drams, one a day. Count down to any day you like. You don't need to be Christmas. Advent calendar. You can count down for the next 24 days. What else have we got?
I first of all would like to shout out to Mr. B again and say sorry you weren't a winner this time.
Oh no!
Stay with us though. It's going to be you one day, Mr. B. Don't you worry. Speaking of winners, I would also like to let James know, who's at Wollstonecraft, that he was the winner of our last week's question, which was the first boutique labels alongside Ardbeg. Yeah. So we've got a little something coming to you. What we will ask if you can drop us a message on Instagram or X. Is it called X now? Former Twitter?
It's called Twitter, but some people call it X. Yeah. I mean, Twitter.com still, but yeah.
Yeah, X. Right. To give it to yeah. Yeah, and we can arrange a little something, a little boutique something to come to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Range.
If you haven't seen these competitions, masterofmalt.com/competitions is where you'll see all of the whiskies that you can buy tickets for. When the tickets have been sold out, they go. There's no extra tickets available for this. Once, if we said there's 99 tickets or 100 tickets, once they're gone, they're gone. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. So it just increases the chances of the people winning. We don't sort of reduce that. But yeah, there's some cracking whiskies. This will be for not next week's draw, but the week after that. Well, next week's draw, there's some cracking whiskies, but yeah, some really big ones for the week after. 21-year-old Dalmore, 21-year-old Glenlivet, 25-year-old Glenlivet together. So yeah, do check out that page. Ultra rare whiskies. Tickets from £1.
What a wonderful potential gift to have for Christmas. I've said the C word again.
That, yeah, the Yamazaki 25-year-old, that's wow, that's blown me away.
Incredible. Yeah.
Superb. Well,
thank you everyone for joining us on this Monday evening. Always a pleasure. David, always a pleasure to see you as well in that wonderful waistcoat. I need to make more of an effort. When I'm around you, you're always so smart and pulled together.
I've got no trousers on underneath. That's why I didn't get up to go and shout at someone.
That's why you spun round and you didn't get up to show the back. Lovely. We're going to leave everyone with that lasting image to think about this Monday night.
Take that out of your head right now. Lovely to see you, Alex.
Lovely to see you, David. Bye, everyone. Have a good week as well.
Yeah, have a great week.
See you next week.
Bye for now.